Subscribe to my YouTube channel, share it with your friends, and comment your thoughts. The necklace that should never have been broken, the sharp crack of glass under a boot cut through the hallway like a gunshot. Maya froze. Time slowed. Her book slipped from her arms and crashed to the floor, pages fluttering everywhere. But all she could see were the blue gemstones, tiny, delicate, now scattered in every direction like fragments of her own heart. Her knees hit the linoleum with a dull thud. There it was, her mother's necklace, shattered, destroyed. "No," she whispered, voice trembling. "No, no, no." Behind her, laughter exploded. "Oh my God, look at her," said Lexi, phone already recording. "She's literally about to cry." Maya didn't look up. Her fingers reached for one of the shards, shaking, careful. But she moved too fast and sliced her thumb open. Blood welled up instantly, bright and angry. Still, she didn't stop. She gathered the pieces like she was cradling a wounded animal. "Oops," said a cold, smug voice. "Rena, the queen bee of the school." "Didn't know your dead mom wore plastic," Lexi cackled. "Seriously, is this thing even real?" "Looks like something from a gumball machine." Maya still said nothing, but inside a storm was building. This necklace wasn't jewelry, it was the last thing her mother gave her before she died. She'd whispered, "Promise me you'll wear it when you need me. I'll always be with you." Maya had worn it every day since, even under her gym uniform, even to sleep. It was her shield, her connection, and now crushed, destroyed by Rena and Lexi, the two girls who had made Maya's life hell for the past year. Rena crouched beside her, her voice syrupy and cruel. "You want this?" she said, picking up the largest shard and waving it in Maya's face. Maya looked up slowly. There were no tears, just something strange in her eyes, a flicker of something cold and unreadable. "I said." Rena leaned closer. "Do you want it?" Maya stood without a word, without blinking. Lexi lowered the phone. "What's with her face?" she whispered. Rena rolled her eyes. "She's in shock or whatever. Freak." Maya took a slow step forward. "You shouldn't have done that," she said quietly. "Oh yeah?" Rena sneered. "And what are you gonna do, karate chop me?" Wrong thing to say. Very, very wrong. The nurse called Maya's aunt around 3:15 p.m. "Hi, Miss Chowdhury. I'm calling from Willow Creek High. There's been an incident. Is Maya okay?" "Yes, she's not hurt, but, there was an altercation." The nurse hesitated. "2 students are being taken to the hospital. One has a possible wrist fracture. The other, some facial injuries. Wait, are you saying Maya did that?" The nurse cleared her throat. "We're not entirely sure what happened. There are conflicting accounts." Maya sat quietly outside the principal's office. Her face was calm. Her hands were folded neatly in her lap, except for the small bandage on her thumb. Inside the office, Mr. Trenton rubbed his temples. "There's no video footage." Lexi's phone got smashed. The hallway cameras were down today. Maintenance said it's a system issue. "Of course it is," he muttered. "She says they slipped." "They both slipped?" "That's her story." Mr. Trenton sighed. "Rena's dad is on the school board. This is going to get messy." The nurse looked through the window at Maya. "Honestly, she doesn't look scared, not one bit." Later that night, Maya sat cross-legged on her bedroom floor. Her room was small, plain, but filled with quiet memories. A photo of her mom in a pale blue sari on the wall, an old lavender scarf still hanging from the closet door. The broken necklace lay in her lap. The chain was still intact somehow. Just the stones were shattered. She ran her fingers over the pieces, her cut thumb throbbing. She hadn't meant to hurt them. Not really. But when Rena waved that shard in her face, something snapped. The months of bullying, the grief, the loneliness, it all surged up at once. She didn't remember throwing the punch, or sweeping Rena's leg, or grabbing Lexi's wrist. Before she could slap her, her body had just moved, fast, controlled, brutal, like muscle memory she didn't know she had. Her mother had been a black belt, once, before cancer stole her strength. Maya had trained a little as a kid. Maybe something had stuck, or maybe it was something else entirely. She stared at the necklace again and whispered, "I don't care what they say, Mom. I felt you with me." A breeze swept through the room, gentle, almost like fingers brushing her cheek. She closed her eyes. For the first time in a long time, she felt calm, but it didn't last. Her phone buzzed, then again. The third buzz was a photo, unknown number, no message, just the photo. Maya's breath caught in her chest. It was her mother, standing outside a gas station, wearing a hoodie, carrying a bag of groceries, looking alive, not from before, from now. There was a date and time stamp in the corner, taken 3 days ago. "No," Maya whispered. Her mother had died last year. She had seen her in the hospital, held her hand when she took her last breath. This was impossible. Her hands shook as the phone buzzed again. This time a message. "You think you know what happened. You don't. Meet me tonight, 11 p.m., Hillside Crossing. Come alone." She looked at the photo again, zoomed in. The woman's face was blurry, but something in her posture, the way she stood, the faint scar near her eyebrow. It was her. It had to be, but how? Was someone messing with her? Was this real? Was her mother alive? She didn't know, but she was going to find out, even if it meant walking straight into a lie, or a trap, or a truth she wasn't ready for. Outside, the night had turned dark and wet. Thunder rolled in the distance. Maya packed the necklace pieces into a velvet pouch. Then she tucked it in her hoodie pocket and slipped out the window, quiet as a ghost. She didn't tell her aunt, didn't leave a note. She just left. Toward the place the message told her to go, toward the truth, toward the mystery, toward the past she thought was dead, and the future that might be built on a lie. The woman in the shadows. The rain had started just after 10:30 p.m. Soft at first, then heavier, like the sky couldn't hold back either. Maya stood at the edge of Hillside Crossing, soaked, her hoodie clinging to her arms. The old train bridge, arched over a shallow creek. Nobody came here at night. It was half abandoned, silent, forgotten, a place people passed without looking. She checked her phone. 2:58 p.m. No new messages. Just the last one. "Come alone." Lightning flickered in the distance. She should have turned back. She should have called someone. But none of that mattered. Not when she had seen that photo. The woman who looked like her mother. Alive. Breathing. Carrying groceries like she never died in that hospital bed. Maya's thoughts were racing. What if it was real? What if her mother hadn't died? What if someone had lied? And then a whisper behind her. "Maya." She spun around. Someone stood under the bridge, half shadow, half silhouette. A woman, face mostly hidden by the hood of her coat. Her voice trembled slightly. Maya's breath caught in her throat. "Mom." The figure stepped forward, just a little. The face wasn't exactly the same. Older, thinner, paler, but the eyes, those eyes. "I don't have much time," the woman said. "They're watching." Maya's knees almost buckled. "No. I saw you die. I was there. You were—" "I had to disappear," the woman said. "For your safety, for mine." Maya stared. Rain dripped from her eyelashes. Her voice was hoarse. "What are you talking about?" "There are things you don't know, things your aunt never told you. I didn't die in that hospital." Maya blinked. "Then who—" "It was staged." The woman took another step forward. "Please believe me. I couldn't protect you if I stayed." Maya's mouth was dry. "If this is a joke—" "It's not." "Then prove it," Maya snapped. Her voice cracked. "Tell me something only. My mom would know." The woman hesitated. Then she said softly, "You used to sleep with my scarf every night when you had nightmares. The lavender one. I never told your aunt because you were embarrassed." Maya froze. She hadn't told anyone that, not even her therapist. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "It really is you." The woman nodded. But before Maya could run to her, headlights flared across the bridge. A car was approaching. Fast! The woman jerked her head toward the creek bed. Go! Now! What? I just found you. They found us. You can't be here. Maya stood frozen. Run, Maya! She turned and sprinted down the embankment, slipping on the wet rocks. Behind her, the sound of tires screeched. A man's voice shouted something she couldn't make out. She didn't stop running until her lungs burned and the bridge was out of sight. By the time Maya got back home, it was past midnight. She climbed through her bedroom window, drenched, breathless, shaking. She locked the window, pulled the curtains, and collapsed on the floor. Her heart wouldn't slow down. Had that really happened? Had her mother faked her death? Who were they? Why had she run? 1,000 questions, no answers. Just the rain tapping against the glass and the broken necklace still warm in her pocket. The next morning, her Aunt Salma was already in the kitchen making tea. "You're up early," she said. Maya forced a nod. "Couldn't sleep." Salma studied her with narrowed eyes. "You're pale. Just tired." Salma handed her a cup, but Maya barely tasted it. Her mind was still back at Hillside Crossing. She had to find her mother again. But she didn't know how, or who was chasing her. All she knew was something wasn't right, and it had started long before that necklace shattered. At school, things were worse. Everyone had heard about what happened. Rena wasn't in class. Her wrist was in a cast, according to rumors. Lexi had posted a photo of her bruised face, captioned, "When jealous freaks lose their minds. Lawsuit coming." People stared at Maya in the hallways. Some whispered, some laughed, some looked scared. Mr. Trenton called her into his office around lunch. "You're not in trouble," he said, "but I need you to be honest." Maya sat across from him, arms folded tightly. "I told you. They fell. I find that hard to believe, Maya." She didn't blink. "Believe what you want," he sighed. "I know you've been through a lot since your mother's death, this kind of aggression." "Don't," Maya snapped. "Don't bring my mom into this." Trenton leaned back. "All right, but if anything else happened, you'll be suspended. Possibly expelled." Maya stood. "Then maybe talk to the girls who've been tormenting me all year." And she walked out. In the hallway, someone brushed past her, a boy she barely knew, Jaden Singh, quiet, loner, always with his head in. A sketchbook. He slipped something into her hand, a folded note. She opened it after he turned the corner. "They've been following you. Your mom's not the only one who vanished. Meet me at 4th period, west stairwell. Come alone." Her pulse spiked. How did he know? Why would he know? Jaden was already waiting by the time she reached the west stairwell. He didn't speak until they were alone. "I know what you saw," he said quietly. "At the bridge." Maya blinked. "How?" "My sister vanished 5 months ago. Everyone thinks she ran away. But I found footage of her the week after, in the background of a live stream. Looked just like her, different name, different hair. But her." Maya's skin tingled. "And you think?" "I think someone's taking people, or making them, disappear. And if your mom's alive, she might be running from the same people." Maya stared at him. "Why would they do that?" "I don't know yet." Jaden looked around. "But there's something else," he said. "Your necklace, it's not just sentimental, is it?" Her hand instinctively went to her pocket. "It's just a gift," she lied. "No," he said. "It's a key." "What?" Jaden pulled out his phone and showed her a photo, a close-up of a similar necklace with a symbol etched into one of the stones. Maya stared. "That's the same shape as—" She pulled out the broken shard from her pocket, the largest piece. There, almost invisible unless you tilted it just right, was a symbol, like a sigil or a crest. "Your mom didn't just give you a necklace," Jaden said. "She gave you access to something, a place or a secret or a memory." Maya's head was spinning. "What does that mean?" Jaden leaned in. "It means—" She wanted you to find something they're trying to erase. That night, Maya searched her mother's old boxes. She found them in the attic, stuff her aunt had packed away, books, journals, a few letters, medical files, and inside, a faded purple folder, a map, not a normal map. It was hand-drawn, with strange markings, and the symbol from the necklace etched in the corner. At the top, in her mother's handwriting, were 3 words. "They're not dead." Her blood ran cold. That same moment, her phone buzzed. Unknown number again, just 3 words this time. "They're coming tonight." Maya's throat went dry. Her body froze. She grabbed the pouch with the necklace shards, the map and her flashlight. She didn't know who they were, but she knew she couldn't be in this house when they arrived. She slipped out the back, a door just as a car rolled up in the street. Not her aunt's car. A black SUV with no plates. The windows were tinted. The engine idled. Maya ran through the neighbor's yard, ducking behind the bushes. The porch light flickered. Then her aunt stepped outside. Maya's heart caught in her throat. She was going to talk to them. Then one of the SUV's back doors opened, and a man in a dark coat stepped out. Not a cop. Not someone from school, and definitely not someone Maya recognized. He handed her aunt something. She took it, a folder, then nodded. Maya's stomach dropped. Her aunt knew. She wasn't just ignoring things. She was part of it. Maya ran, until her lungs felt like they'd tear open. She didn't stop until she reached the edge of the woods behind her school, near the old nature center. She sat beneath a tree, rain-soaked, breathless, heart pounding. She opened the map again, trying to make sense of the drawings. In the corner, she noticed a note scribbled in the margin, just one line written faintly in her mother's handwriting. "When they break it, start remembering." Maya looked at the pouch again. The broken necklace. Was that what this was about? Was the breaking of the necklace what triggered all this? She didn't know what the symbol meant, or what her aunt was hiding, or what her mother had run from, but she knew one thing: she wasn't going to run anymore. The last message came at 2:34 a.m. Midnight, Thursday, Red Hollow Church. "Come alone, or they'll erase you too." Buried secrets at Red Hollow. The rain had stopped, but the cold hadn't. Maya stood at the rusted gate of Red Hollow Church, the glow of her flashlight casting eerie shadows along the cracked stone path. Midnight was a breath away, and the only sounds were her own heartbeat and the occasional rustle of wind in the trees. She tightened her grip on the pouch of necklace shards. She could feel the largest piece inside, smooth, jagged, powerful, like it was waiting to be used. Behind her, the forest stood still. Ahead, the church loomed, its steeple crooked and roof half collapsed. It had been abandoned for years. Ever since that fire no one talked about, now it looked like a grave for secrets too dangerous to be buried. Maya stepped forward. The moment her foot crossed the threshold, her phone buzzed again. "Unknown number. Good, you're alone." The message was followed by a photo. It was her mother, tied to a chair. A bruise darkened her cheek, but her eyes were locked on the camera, fierce and unbroken. Maya's knees nearly gave out. This wasn't just about the past anymore. This was happening now. Someone had her mother, someone who knew Maya would come. Inside, the air smelled of damp wood and forgotten things. A beam of moonlight spilled through a hole in the roof, illuminating shattered pews and soot-covered stone. Maya moved carefully down the center aisle, her shoes crunching against glass. "Hello?" She called out, voice trembling. Silence. Then, from the shadows, movement. Jaden stepped into the moonlight, looking worse than before. There was a cut on his forehead, dried blood streaking his temple. Maya froze. "What happened to you?" He looked at her with panic in his eyes. "I messed up. They followed me." "Who?" Before he could answer, the main doors slammed shut behind them. Maya spun around. 3 figures stepped out of the darkness, all wearing black. No faces visible. Only one of them spoke. A woman, her voice cold and smooth like silk over broken glass. You should have destroyed the necklace, Maya. Maya took a step back, shielding the pouch with her body. What do you want from me? It's not about what we want. It's what your mother stole. She didn't steal anything. Did she tell you that? The woman's laugh was low and cruel. Of course she didn't. She lied to you like she lied to all of us. Maya's hands were trembling. Who are you? The woman tilted her head. We're what's left of the circle, and your mother used to be one of us. Jaden flinched beside her. No, that's not possible. My sister... She chose to leave, the woman cut in. But your mother, she betrayed us. Maya's mind reeled. What are you talking about? The woman stepped closer, the dim light finally catching the edges of her face. She was older, late 40s maybe, but her eyes were cold and calculating. Your mother helped us guard something, a truth, a memory. She was our strongest seer. But then she found out about the project, about what we really did. What project? The woman ignored her. She tried to take the truth with her. She stole the key. She ran, and she left all of you behind. Maya's pulse thundered. The necklace. She hid it in your necklace. Clever, but not clever enough. Jaden whispered, It's a memory vault, isn't it? The woman smiled. You're smarter than you look. She took another step forward. Maya held the pouch tighter. If you come closer, what will you do? The woman mocked. You've already started unlocking it, haven't you? The moment it shattered, you began to remember. Maya blinked hard, and suddenly, a flash, a hallway, white walls. Her mother running, holding her hand. Red lights flashing, voices shouting codes, a door closing, a symbol on the wall, the same as on her necklace. She gasped and staggered back. Stop, she whispered. You see? The woman said. The memories are coming. We just need to open the rest, then we'll take what we need and erase the rest. You're not erasing anything, Maya hissed. The woman motioned to one of the figures. He raised a long silver device. It pulsed like a low hum, energy vibrating through the room. Maya felt it instantly. Pain stabbed through her skull. The shard in her pouch vibrated violently. She screamed and dropped to her knees, clutching her head. Jaden lunged forward. Stop it! But the other two masked figures grabbed him. The woman stepped over Maya. This could have been painless. Maya's voice was barely a whisper. You'll never get what you want. Oh, darling, the woman said. We already have. She reached down to grab the pouch, but before she could touch it, the church exploded in light. A shockwave of energy burst from the pouch, blasting the masked figures back. Jaden was thrown across the room. The woman screamed, covering her face. Maya felt the heat rush through her body, like fire but not burning, like the truth waking up. She stood slowly. The shards in the pouch floated above her hand, each glowing, aligning in the air like magnets reuniting. And then they snapped together. Whole again. The necklace shimmered, and a voice echoed in her. Mind, find the vault, unlock the memory, save what's left of us. The light faded. The woman was gone. So were the others. Jaden groaned from the far end of the room. What was that? Maya stared at the necklace. It's not just a key, she said. It's a map to where they buried everything. 2 hours later, they were hiding in a motel room outside town. Jaden iced his head while Maya examined the map again, now clearer than ever. The glowing necklace hovered slightly over one section of the paper, illuminating a single word, Asterfield. Jaden looked up. That's the abandoned research compound. It shut down 10 years ago after a chemical leak. My mom worked there, Maya whispered. I thought she was a nurse. She was, Maya said, but not just a nurse. She always kept secrets. Jaden leaned in. You think the vault's there? I don't know, but we have. To go, Maya nodded. There was no turning back now. Back at her aunt's house, Salma stood by the living room window, phone to her ear. She's gone, she said quietly. A voice on the other end replied, distorted. She's activated it. The circle failed. Salma's voice trembled. Then what do we do now? The voice was silent for a moment. Then, prepare the others. She's not just unlocking memories. She's becoming one of us. Salma turned away from the window. In her hand was the second necklace, the compound of forgotten children. The road to Asterfield compound was cracked, overgrown, and forgotten, like it had been erased from every map but Maya's mind. She drove in silence. The necklace hung from the rearview mirror, softly glowing as if it could sense how close they were. Jaden sat beside her, tense, bruised, and restless. The air between them was thick with unspoken fears. "Do you believe her?" Maya finally asked, eyes still fixed on the road. "That my mom betrayed something bigger? That she stole a memory?" Jaden hesitated. "I don't know what to believe anymore. But if they're willing to kill over it, it must matter." Maya nodded. That much she knew for sure. The compound appeared out of the mist, like a ghost town. Tall, barbed wire fences curled in on themselves. Signs read, "Danger, toxic, keep out." But something about the decay felt staged. Too perfect, too clean. As they parked outside the rusted gate, the necklace pulsed brighter. The glow pointed like a compass toward the east wing of the facility. Maya swallowed. "This is where it ends." "No," Jaden said. "This is where it begins." They climbed the fence and entered the main building through a shattered side door. Inside, broken lab equipment littered the floors, paperwork soaked from past rains. Walls stained with time and smoke, but in the east wing the floors changed, from cement to smooth white tiles. The air was cold and sterile. That's when Maya saw it, the symbol, the same symbol from her vision, engraved on a vault door, a circle, with a diagonal slash through a spiral. She reached out and touched it. Suddenly, flash! She was a child again, running barefoot through this very hallway, her mother dragging her by the hand, whispering, "Don't look back. Just trust me." A siren blared. A guard shouted something she couldn't understand. Then, a shadow stepped in their way. "Her," Mother screamed. Everything went white. Back in the present, Maya gasped and staggered back from the door. Jaden caught her. "Another memory?" She nodded. "They took something from us, Jaden." "From all of us." Jaden looked around. What was this place? Maya studied the vault. Not a hospital, not a lab, a testing ground. For what? Before she could answer, a voice echoed behind them. For children who remembered too much. Maya and Jaden spun around. Salma. Maya's aunt stood in the hallway, hands raised. Her expression was a mix of guilt and sorrow. Jaden stiffened. "What are you doing here?" Maya's voice cracked. "Did you follow us?" "No," Salma said softly. "I brought you here." She opened her coat and pulled out the second necklace. Maya's breath caught. "That's Mom's, the original. She left it with me the night she ran," Salma whispered. She knew they'd come for her, so she split the memory, half in each necklace, one with me, one with you. Jaden stepped forward. "You knew all this time?" "I tried to protect you both," Salma said. "But the circle was watching. And now they've returned to finish what they started." Maya took a shaky step toward her. "What did they start?" Salma's eyes were full of grief. Asterfield wasn't about healing. It was about erasing. They took children, kids, like you, Maya, who remembered things they weren't supposed to, visions, secrets, future events. Your mother was one of them once. So was I. So was Jaden's sister. Jaden's jaw dropped. "Lena was here?" Salma nodded. "She didn't die in a fire," she said quietly. "She disappeared after trying to expose them." Jaden looked. Like the floor had been ripped out from under him. Maya looked at the vault. "What's in there?" "Everything," Salma whispered. "The files, the footage, the truth. But once you open it, there's no going back. The world will change, and so will you." Maya took a long breath, then stepped forward. Both necklaces began to glow. She placed hers against the left side of the vault, and Salma placed the second on the right. The door clicked, groaned, and slowly opened. Inside was a single room, bright, sterile, unaged, a round table, 3 chairs, a large projection screen on the wall, and on the table, 2 hard drives and a red envelope. Maya walked to the table and opened the envelope. It was a letter. If you're reading this, you've remembered. I'm sorry I kept it from you, Maya. You were too young to carry the burden of what they did to us. Asterfield erased the memories of hundreds of children after forcing them to see things no child should. We were their experiments, our minds, their playground. But memory has power, and when yours shattered, you woke up. Do what you must, but remember, truth can save or destroy. Maya's hands trembled as she finished reading. Jaden picked up one of the hard drives. This could expose them, Salma nodded. But it could also make you a target for the rest of your life. Maya's voice was low but sure. Then we end it. Now. She slipped the drive into her bag. We go public, we make them run. Jaden looked at her. You sure? Maya turned to face him, and for the first time there was no fear in her eyes. Let them come. That night, they leaked the drive online. Thousands of files, videos of children in rooms with electrodes, doctors asking questions in coded language, recordings of Maya's mother resisting, Lena screaming at them, Salma sedated, even Maya as a little girl, curled in a corner whispering, "She's going to die, the fire's coming, they don't believe me." It all flooded the internet. The news exploded. Secret mind control program exposed. Government denies missing children connected to closed research lab. Whistleblower footage sparks international outrage. Maya, Jaden and Salma went into hiding, but the world had changed. Truth couldn't be erased now. 3 weeks later, Maya stood at her mother's grave, the real one. She'd finally found the body, buried under a false name in an unmarked grave. Behind Red Hollow, the circle had tried to erase her like all the others, but Maya made sure she'd never be forgotten again. She placed the necklace gently on the headstone. "I finished it," she whispered. "You're free now." Footsteps behind her. "Jaden, you ready?" he asked. Maya nodded. They walked back to the car, hand in hand. But as they drove off, they didn't see the figure watching from the trees. A young girl, in a hospital gown, eyes glowing faintly in the dusk, the last of the forgotten, waiting to be remembered, the price of truth. The days after the leak moved like a blur. Maya kept waiting for relief, for peace, for justice to kick down someone else's door for once, but all she got was silence and paranoia. She sat by the window of the safe house, watching the tree line where they'd last seen the girl in the hospital gown. But the forest stayed quiet, like it had swallowed her whole. Salma paced behind her. Jaden checked his phone again, frustration darkening his face. "They've gone underground," he muttered. "No names, no arrests, just media noise and ongoing investigations." Maya sighed. "It's not enough." Salma paused mid-step. "Maya, what you did was dangerous, exposing the circle." "I didn't expose them," Maya cut in. "I exposed their graveyard, but the ones still running the show. They're hiding behind the chaos, watching, waiting." Jaden tossed the phone onto the couch. "So what do we do? Just sit here while they regroup?" "No," Maya said, standing. "We find the survivors, we find the others. That girl we saw, she knew something. We owe them more than just headlines." Salma hesitated. "You want to go back out there?" Maya turned to face her, eyes burning with the kind of fire that doesn't go out. "I want to finish it." They started with the map from the leaked files. Asterfield wasn't the only compound. There were at least 4 others, 1 overseas, 3 in North America, but one stood out. Facility D13, code-named Haven, hidden deep in the Canadian Rockies. According to the files, it was where they sent failures, children too unstable or too powerful to erase. Maya's file ended with the word transferred. So did Lena's, so did dozens of others. We go there, Maya said. If there are survivors, that's where they'll be. The journey to D13 was brutal. Snow-covered roads, satellite phones. That kept cutting out. Rumors of landslides and military-grade fencing, but after days of travel, the trio stood at the edge of a frozen forest. There was no gate, no walls, just trees and silence. But Maya felt it. Her body tensed. Her skin prickled. The necklaces, now worn together around her neck, began to warm. Jaden noticed. "It's close." Salma nodded. "Too close." They stepped into the trees. The forest swallowed them. Hours passed with no sign of life, until Maya saw it, a flicker of motion behind a snowbank, small, quick, human. She sprinted toward it, the others following. They found a clearing, and a girl, the same girl in the hospital gown, barefoot, unblinking. Maya slowed, hands raised. "Hey, it's okay. I'm not here to hurt you." The girl tilted her head. "You're the one who opened the vault," she whispered. Her voice was raspy, like she hadn't spoken in years. Maya's heart pounded. "You were there, weren't you? In Asterfield?" The girl nodded. "We all were, until the storms came." "Storms?" Salma asked gently, but the girl didn't answer. She turned and walked through the snow. Maya followed without hesitation. They reached a crevice hidden behind a boulder, half covered in ice. The girl stopped. "They buried us here." "What do you mean?" She pointed to the ground, and that's when they saw the markers, rocks, wooden sticks, dozens of them, graves. Jaden stepped back. "Oh my God!" Salma covered her mouth. Maya couldn't breathe. "These are the failures," the girl said. "The ones who couldn't forget. They tried to burn us out, silence us, but some of us stayed." She turned to Maya. "You lit the match. Now you need to finish what they started." Maya stepped forward. "What do you want me to do?" The girl pointed toward the mountain ridge. "Go to the cradle. That's where they keep the ones who still remember." They climbed for hours. As they neared the top, the air grew thinner, sharper. Then they saw it, a glass dome, half hidden by snowdrifts. Cracked, dying, but still humming with faint blue light. Jaden whispered, "This place isn't abandoned." They crept inside, rows of empty beds, monitors still blinking, journals left, half open, whispers echoing through the halls, like memories clinging to the walls. Then they heard a voice, soft, metallic, recorded, subject 04F, Maya, showing signs of reactivation, memory fragments returning, immediate erasure recommended. Jaden's eyes widened. "They were tracking you." More voices. "Subject 04F is not compliant." "Mother interfered." "Emotional tether too strong." "Consider full reset." Maya felt her stomach twist. They weren't just experimenting, they were programming her. "Come with me," said the girl. She opened a hidden panel and led them down. A stairwell lit by flickering bulbs. Below they found them, children, sleeping, floating in isolation tanks. Tubes in their arms, faces blank. Not dead. Preserved. The girl's voice cracked. "They keep us here, locked in dreams, until we forget who we were." Maya reached the glass. One of the children looked just like Lena. Jaden froze. He stumbled back. Breath caught in his throat. "That's her. That's my sister." Salma was crying now. "They didn't kill her. They froze her." The girl looked at Maya. "You can wake them, but you have to choose." "Choose what?" The girl placed something in Maya's hand, a small device, one button. If you press it, every memory returns, all of it, for everyone here. But it could kill them. Too much, too fast. Jaden looked at Maya, eyes bloodshot. "If she wakes." Up wrong, she could lose herself. "And if I don't press it?" Maya asked. "They'll sleep forever," the girl said. "Silent, forgotten." Maya looked around. These were victims. Survivors, family, the circle tried to erase them. Now she had the power to bring them back or set them free. Salma's voice was gentle. "It has to be your call." Maya looked at the device, then at Jaden. Then she pressed the button. Alarms exploded through the dome. Tanks hissed. Lights flared. The children's bodies convulsed. One by one they began to move. Eyes fluttered. Mouths gasped for breath. Jaden ran to Lena's tank. Her eyes opened. "Jaden," she whispered. He fell to his knees, sobbing. Maya turned, just in time to see the girl in the hospital gown collapse. She caught her. "What's happening?" The girl smiled faintly. "I was their anchor, their jailer. Now they're free. I'm not needed." Maya shook her. No, don't go." The girl's hand touched the necklace. "You remembered." That was enough. And then she was gone. Still, peaceful, free. Hours later, Maya stood on the mountain top, watching the sunrise. The children were awake, scared, but alive. Jaden sat beside her, holding Lena's hand. Salma lit a candle for the girl who'd guided them here. No name, no file, just a soul too strong to forget. "They'll come for us again," Salma said softly. Maya nodded. "Let them. I'm not hiding anymore." But then Jaden's phone buzzed. He read the message. His face went pale. "What is it?" Maya asked. He handed it to her. It was a news alert. "Footage leaked was fake, say officials." Whistleblower discredited. Maya Noor declared mentally unstable, missing from psychiatric evaluation. Underneath was a photo of her, but not recent. It was from when she was 8. Hair cropped short, eyes wide, face blank, taken at Asterfield. A message followed seconds later. "You started a war, Maya, and now you're alone." The fire. She became. They buried the nameless girl beneath the oldest tree on the mountain. Lena placed the final stone on her grave, trembling but alive. Around her, the other children Maya had awakened stood, weak, wide-eyed, and stunned to feel cold air on their skin again. Jaden wrapped a blanket around his sister. Salma watched the tree line with a rifle slung over her shoulder. The sun was rising, but the warmth did not reach their hearts. Maya stood slightly apart, her fists clenched. She had freed them, and yet the world had already begun rewriting the truth. She was branded unstable, dangerous, a liar, exactly how the circle wanted it. Jaden broke the silence. "They're coming for us." Maya didn't flinch. "I know. They'll spin it all, say we fabricated everything. I don't care anymore." Jaden turned to her. "Then what's the plan?" Maya stared down at her hands. The twin necklaces pulsed softly, hers and her mother's, symbols of strength, of memory. "We don't run," she said quietly. "Not this time." They moved fast. The circle would expect fear, escape, silence. But instead, Maya led the children down the mountain. She made contact with independent journalists, ones willing to risk everything. She gave them the raw data files, the ones she hadn't leaked yet, the videos, the experiment logs, the graveyard coordinates, even the footage of herself smashing her mother's necklace while screaming in that cold Asterfield cell. "I want the world to see all of it," she said. "But they'll label you a threat," the journalist warned. "They'll say it's AI-generated, that you're delusional." "Then let them watch me speak," she replied. Within a week, the video went live. No flashy edits, no special effects, just Maya standing in front of the graves, looking directly into the camera. "My name is Maya Noor. I was part of an experiment they called the Cleanse. They tried to erase who I was. They killed my mother. They hurt others like me, like Lena, like the nameless girl who led me back to the truth. But we are still here. We remember, and we are done hiding." The video ended on one sentence etched into the snow behind her. "You buried us, but we grew roots." The firestorm was instant. Social media blew up. Protesters appeared outside shadowed buildings with signs saying, We remember Asterfield and Justice for the Forgotten, but the circle moved faster. Maya was declared an international threat. Her passport flagged, her name blacklisted. Then came the ultimate blow. They arrested Jaden. He was dragged from a safe house in Ottawa. Lena tried to fight them, but she was too weak. Salma barely escaped. They pinned him with cyber terrorism, claiming he was the hacker behind the leaks. Maya watched the news in silence. The boy who saved her, taken. This wasn't a war anymore. It was a slaughter. She returned to the dome one last time. It was already half buried in snow. She stood where the girl had died, touched the wall where children once floated in sleep, and then she remembered something Salma once said. Sometimes losing everything is the only way to find who you really are. Maya stepped forward and turned on the old console. It flickered, then buzzed to life. She spoke directly into the camera, not just to the world, but to them, to the ones watching this. Yes, you, the ones behind the circle, hiding behind masks and bank accounts and fake reports. I want you to hear me clearly. You turned my grief into an experiment. You made me question my own memories. You tried to erase me, but I survived. We all did. And now we're coming for you. She paused. Her voice shook, not with fear, but with power. I don't need your justice. I'm not asking for a trial. I'm not building a case. I'm building a fire, and I promise you, everyone you tried to forget is about to be remembered. Then she detonated the dome. With the children safe and the files secured, she watched the lab burn. The dome cracked open like an egg, flames rising high into the icy sky. The explosion lit the forest in orange and red. She walked away slowly, the two necklaces around her neck catching the last light of the blaze. Behind her, the mountain cried out, and the truth echoed louder than ever before. 2 months later, Jaden was released without charges. Too much pressure, too many eyes watching. But he was never the same. Neither was Lena. She'd begun remembering flashes, faces, screams, her mother crying. But Maya stayed close, taught her how to hold pain without letting it drown her. Salma moved to a quiet town and started writing again, this time about everything. Her blog became a sensation titled "The Children Who Wouldn't Forget." And Maya? She disappeared, but sometimes people reported sightings: a girl in Nepal helping rebuild a school, a woman in South Africa visiting orphanages with no camera crews, a lone figure seen at protests in London, hood up, eyes burning. She became a symbol, not of revenge, but of remembrance. 1 year later, a small statue was erected at the edge of the mountain. No name on it, just a carved figure of a girl in a hospital gown, arms open, face serene. At her feet, a metal plaque read, "For the ones who remembered. For the ones they tried to silence. You broke her necklace, but you woke her fire." Final message to the audience. In the end, Maya didn't just survive. She transformed, from broken to unstoppable, from forgotten to unforgettable. And maybe the most powerful revenge of all was making the world remember every soul they tried to erase. The end.